Good morning, Elmira Baptist Church. I'm glad to be with you today on September 14th, 2023. It is a Thursday, and we're going to look at the verse from Matthew 5. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. A quote that goes along with that is a lady named Sophie Scholl. She grew up in Germany and was a college student during the Nazi years. And her and her brother in particular were distributing anti-Nazi leaflets. Eventually, she was arrested by the Nazis and was executed. But she said this: how can we expect righteousness to prevail when there is hardly anyone who is willing to give himself up individually to a righteous cause? Let me read that again. How can we expect righteousness to prevail when there is hardly anyone who is willing to give himself up individually to a righteous cause? And that was something she said during her time with the Nazis. Don't forget that 9:45 every Sunday is a Sunday school hour. And we've got nursery for the littlest ones, preschool class, elementary boys, elementary girls. We've got a teen class, and not one but two adult classes as well. So there's something for the whole family. Let me encourage you to bring folks out at 9:45 on Sunday mornings. 11 o'clock worship, we're going to look again at the Antioch model from Acts 11, verses 19 through 26. So if you didn't read that before, read that again. If you read that before, read it again, Acts 11, and be prepared to look at that. And then in the evening, one of the men of the church is going to speak to us, and I'm looking forward to that. After the Sunday evening sermon, we will observe the Lord's Supper. Let me encourage you to prepare your hearts for that. The goal is to live stream Sunday school, morning worship, evening worship, and then, of course, we'll turn that off during the Lord's Supper, but afterwards we'll post lessons and sermons to sermon audio. Speaking of live stream, this coming Wednesday, the 20th, we're going to go back to the split sessions. Men are going to meet in here, ladies meeting in the ministry room, and because of that, we will not be live streaming the Wednesday night Bible study. Both the groups are discussion groups. Often things get shared of a personal nature, and live streams are just a window out into the world, looking right into our services. Now, we're glad to do that for sermons and singing, etc., but not so comfortable doing that when people are sharing personal details. So we won't be live streaming. But let me remind you, if Wednesday night is the wrong night for you to meet, but you'd like to meet, the ladies have a Bible study on Friday mornings at 10:30 that also meets in the ministry room. For those of you that will be meeting with us, there's a book for the ladies, Respectable Sins by Jerry Bridges, and there's a book for the men, Disciplines of a Godly Man by Kent Hughes. That again starts next Wednesday night. Here are some other dates to keep in mind. This Saturday is the men's breakfast, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then Wednesday, September 20th, again, we'll split up into a men's group and a ladies group for that. On Friday, September 22nd, 8 o'clock in the evening, is our next Star Watch party. And there's some planets that we'll be viewing if you stay late enough. Uranus will come up over the horizon, and you'll have a chance to look at that as well. But that's Friday, September 22nd. Saturday, September 23rd, 10 o'clock in the morning, the ladies are going to meet and prepare some cards for our missionaries. We'll send those out, and the goal is to get those cards to those missionary ladies by Christmas. Sunday, October 1st, Brother Livioko from the Philippines is going to be with us in the morning. So Sunday morning, October 1st, plan to be with us. And then Saturday, October 7th, is our Widow's Day. 2 ways that I need you to help me. If you are a widow or a widower with work that needs to be done around your place, please contact me directly. I already have a list going. If you're not a widow or a widower, please sign up to help these widows and widowers on October 7th. Sunday, October 15th, we have missionary Dan Armacost with us in the evening. And then on Friday and Saturday, November 3rd and 4th, is the 2-minute warning. Let me encourage you men to sign up. Sunday, November 12th, is our Thanksgiving banquet. We already have almost 80 people signed up. That's fantastic. Let me encourage you, if you are planning to attend, get signed up this coming Sunday. And then we'll see how many folks we have signed up and start opening up to guests and to visitors. Our devotional today comes from Matthew 5:6. I read it earlier. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. This verse tells us that our level of righteousness corresponds to our desire for righteousness. If we hunger and thirst after it, then we will experience it. The truth is, we all make decisions about what's important to us. For some people, the important thing in life is getting to the gym. You gotta stay in shape. And I've actually had people, I've suggested, hey, let's get together on such and such an evening or such and such a morning, and they'll say, I can't, I'm going to the gym. It makes me feel like I'm less important than their time at the gym, which is true. And that's not a problem because they've made that decision. For some people, it's sports. Why can't they meet with us on Sunday night or Wednesday night or even Sunday morning? They've got to watch their favorite sports team. I have heard from time to time about folks that don't join the midweek service here or at another church because there's a favorite game show that's on that time of the day. And I don't know why you'd prioritize the game show over prayer, but that's the decision that they've made. Let me ask you, what if righteousness was the most important thing to us? If righteousness were the most important thing to us, I know we'd spend a lot of time in God's Word searching for the keys to righteousness. I know if righteousness were the most important thing to us, we'd spend a lot of time in prayer asking God for help, asking God for His grace to live righteously. Have you considered that God is more interested in our righteousness, your righteousness, my righteousness? God is more interested in our righteousness than we are. If we'll pray, He stands ready to pour out His grace so that we can live righteously. If righteousness were truly important to us, we'd be very careful about what goes in our ear gate, what goes in our eye gate. If righteousness were the most important thing to us, I think we'd talk a lot more about it. Are you hungry and thirsty for righteousness? As a teenager, one of my favorite activities was to go down to a park not far from where I lived, meet up with my friends there, and we'd play basketball. And there was only two of us usually, but we'd get a third guy out, sometimes a fourth guy out, play some basketball, and invariably another group of young men would show up and we'd challenge them to a basketball game. We had a great time. Played for hours sometimes. And when I got done playing, on my way home, I loved to stop. There was an AM/PM mini market not far from those courts, and it was on the way home. So I'd stop at that mini market, I'd pull in, and I'd get one of those big gulps, right? The huge cup, fill it with soda pop. I'd go down the aisle and grab a snack because I was hungry and I was thirsty. And the truth is, if we are hungry and thirsty for righteousness, God will bless us with righteousness. If we're not hungry and thirsty for righteousness, then we're not going to experience much righteousness. Again, blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Let me suggest that often we lack righteousness in our lives because, frankly, we don't really want to be righteous. We're satisfied with a superficial righteousness so we can feel better than other people, so we can look down our noses at those evil people over there without really wanting God's righteousness. Let's be thankful that God offers to fill us with righteousness if we'll hunger and thirst after it, and ask God to change your heart so you truly desire His righteousness. Don't forget, 9:45 this Sunday, we're going to meet for Sunday school. There's classes for all ages. Bring the whole family. 11 o'clock for morning worship. 5 o'clock for evening worship, and follow that up with an observance of the Lord's Supper. What could be more important than to worship God this weekend? See you here.